Good morning. Just been processing my thoughts. I just finished working out, walking now. Was listening to a song, and it was about pain. And I was thinking to myself, it's easy to think the thought like, oh, hi, good morning. To think the thought, oh, most people don't understand pain. No, I think that I had it all wrong with that. No, most people know what pain is, because pain is subjective. And in all of our journeys, there's going to be some kind of degree of pain, no matter what it looks like. This is not about invalidating someone else's pain because it doesn't look like ours, or because they didn't go through as much as we did, or that we're any less worthy because we didn't experience as much pain as someone else. That's not what it's about. But it's easy to think that because, hi, good morning, because it sounds good to our ego. But if you really think about it rationally, it's actually not true. Good morning. Hey. It's more, instead of saying it or framing it in a way that is invalidating, it's more of a, I don't know, started playing music out of nowhere. It's more of a, most people don't know how to alchemize pain. That's really what it is. It's not about judging the degree to which each person experiences pain and whether or not to judge them on that. That's not what it is. All of us are going to go through whatever pain is meant for us. It's already written, okay? And it's also the lower parts of our vibration that are reflecting back to us in our reality that can cause ourselves pain. So to some degree, everyone's going to go through some kind of pain. To some degree, everyone has gone through some kind of trauma. Trauma doesn't have to be something very big like rape and someone killed someone in front of you and all this shit. It doesn't have to be like dramatic. Trauma, the definition is more like something that happens, that takes place, that shifts your brainwaves in a very different way, and makes you have to adjust in a different way. I'm not paraphrasing it directly. It's very loosely paraphrased definition, but you could just look it up and read it. And that can be very subjective for somebody. Someone who's hardly been through anything, and then now, boom, something happens that's very different outside of what their normalcy is, can be traumatic for them. All the way to the really big shit. Wars, rape, you name it. Sexual abuse, whatever, beatings. And so this is not about invalidating anybody just because they didn't go through pain to the degree that we did. Because who are we to say about their journey? Their journey is not ours. It's not for us to compare, judge, or do any of these things just simply because it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not a matter of like, oh, don't judge people. No, really, it doesn't make sense, because what are you judging? What are you basing this off of? You? But you're not them, right? You're not them. They have a specific journey and purpose for that journey, and they are at a certain point in their soul's evolution that has nothing to do with you. So that's why it's so irrational to do that. But it feels good to our ego, so we do it. but it makes no sense. Hi, good morning. Hi. It genuinely, stoically, rationally does not make any sense. So pain is subjective, but it is inevitable. And what's optional is the suffering of that pain, right? Most people, you've heard that quote, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Oh, it sounds cool. It sounds like a bumper sticker. But most people don't actually think about what the fuck does that actually mean, and like actually dissect it and compare it to life experiences to better understand it, connect the dots. Pain, what I just said, is inevitable, and I just said why, right? You're here on earth. This is a school for your soul, for you to evolve. And in evolving, in order for you to evolve, there's going to be experiences that mirror parts of you that are still low vibrational, unhealed, still living in wounds and ego. And it has to reflect back to you to get your attention, and those experiences can be painful. So pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Why is it optional if pain is inevitable? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because suffering is you choosing to live and stay in that pain. Ooh, let me say it again. Suffering is you choosing to live and stay in that pain way longer than what it needs to. The pain doesn't come to stay. The pain comes to send you a message, to let you know something, to guide you, to let you know, hey, something needs attention here. Hey, you need to check your behavior. The patterns of your behavior are causing these experiences that hurt you. You're hurting yourself. That's suffering. And that's a choice. Even if it doesn't feel like it's a choice. Even if you feel like you're stuck, that's just a feeling. You're not stuck. You are not stuck. You always have a choice. Even in the midst of it happening, you have a choice. Oh, but how could you say this? You know, how have you ever been through blah, blah, blah? Yes, I was in the midst of pretty serious shit. And that's where I exercised what I'm saying right now. And I went. And I chose different. And my life became different. Good morning. Hey. Good. How you doing? Morning. So, he's weird. Okay. So you have to choose different. Have the courage to choose different. Even if you're faced with the fear in the moment, it doesn't matter. Choose different. Or if the moment is past, think about it and think about how your behavior is perpetuating these experiences as patterns. And make the necessary changes. That's what pain is trying to tell you, is trying to get your attention, to let you know, hey, we need to look at ourselves. There's something that you're doing that's causing this. Even if it looks like someone else is doing it, why are you around them? Either way, no matter how you look at it, it's a choice. So, most people do know pain. They don't know the alchemy. Good morning. They are relaxing in the shade. They don't know the alchemy of it. Everyone knows what it is, but the alchemy of it, no. Good morning. The alchemy of it is something that is a deliberate, intentional practice. Alchemy is I'm going to say it again, it's intentional practice of transcending one thing to another. In this case, for pain, it's healing and transcending or transmuting it. You choose different. Even if you don't, even if the situation's not something you could change, but you have to change your response, that's still alchemy. You're choosing to change your response, which requires you to also change how you feel about the whole situation and your perspective. So you're transcending the pain into a higher perspective about the situation that can turn around and serve you instead of hurt you. I've had to do that in dangerous situations that I used to be in years ago. Without going into great detail, I was held captive like 3 times, but one of them was longer than the rest. And I said, okay. I tried getting away, whatever, it didn't work. So clearly what I saw the barriers of what I could control and couldn't control. So in that situation, instead of trying to get away, which is going to cause more hurt to myself in the experience, I knew I wasn't going to stay there forever. I know that. I know what my purpose is here. I know I'm protected. But while I was in that situation and it was mirroring back to me what it needed to mirror back to me about me, I was around dangerous people. And so what I had to do was, okay, if I can't control the situation, I'm gonna control my response. And so what I did was I alchemized, okay, my perspective. I alchemized how I felt about it. I alchemized what I decided to do about it. And that affected how I handled it. So instead of looking at this like, I gotta get the fuck out of this, I already knew that. Why keep thinking that? I know this. Why keep thinking that? So clearly thinking that was just causing me frustration. So in the situation, what I did instead was become what the captor wanted me to be. But I knew who I actually was. It's not like I just threw myself away. But in that moment, that was the way to gain their trust to get out. So I alchemized my entire perspective in a way that serves me, and I got out. Never been in that situation again. So no matter what is going on, even if it's human trafficking, which is what that was for me. Okay, that's you all the way from situations that you could just walk out to situations like that where now you have to alchemize your perspective. Either way, the power is in your choice and in your response. That is where your alchemy is. So anything that's causing you pain, like anything that is causing you pain, is trying to get your attention about something about you. Something about your vibration attracted this into your reality. And the pain is trying to let you know to take a second look at it and figure out if it's something that you need to change within yourself, which 100% of the time it is. It is. Because even if you're a victim of a circumstance, or what I would say appears to be a victim of circumstance, someone who, like, for example, 2 people got together, they're in a relationship, everything looks like it's going great, and then like one person out of nowhere becomes a monster and starts hitting them. I'm being very like a little sarcastic, but I'm pretty sure to some degree people have been through that. And they start hitting them. I'm totally saying this without any context, by the way. No one just wakes up one day and boom. There's context somewhere. Okay? But let's just say, for example's sake, if after the first time it's done, you stayed, it's your choice now. You're part of the problem. And that means that there's something in you that you need to address so that you no longer resonate with allowing yourself to be treated that way. That you no longer resonate with the parts of you that are okay with this, that have no boundaries and order. Good morning. That's where your work is. That's where your alchemy is. That's where your power is. That's where your response is right there. Good morning. And so that is what you got to focus on. It's not about blaming anyone. It's about taking a look at a situation and how did you put yourself in this in one way, shape, or form, and then what part of you resonated with this to allow this to happen, and then heal that part of you. Because everything is vibration and frequency. Everything is energy. And someone with healthy boundaries, a healthy sense of self, disciplined behavior, and all these great attributes would not allow these things to happen. They would see it from afar as a red flag and walk the other way. And that's the power of choice. That's the power of alchemy. So if you find yourself in any kind of situation that you know and feel is not aligned with you, the first thing to do is not to attack the people around you that are in that situation with you. It's about look in the mirror and what part of you that resonates with this are you allowing to make the choice to continue to resonate with this. And good morning. Oh my God. Beautiful dog. And then take a look at why you resonate with this. What's the root of this? How did this come about in you? Where did this come from? Because it's not like it just appears. Things from our childhood are stored in our nervous system and in our DNA that affect our behavior, feelings, choices, and perspectives, and what we align with. And this is where the inner work is. You have to work with your nervous system. You have to allow yourself to feel and purge whatever you've been suppressing that is now in your cells that's affecting you today and your choices. Because it does. And do the inner work. Ask yourself the questions. Why do I resonate with this? What do I feel I need from this experience? What is this validating in me? And how can I turn around and validate that for myself? What kind of unhealthy attachments do I have to people and why? What is it from them that I feel that I need that I can probably turn around and just give myself? And what are some healthy ways to give this to myself? Like, go down the line of questions. You'll end up with a whole new branch of answers to now make brand new decisions and build a brand new perspective. And from there, you can change your entire circumstance and what your reality looks like. And okay, the best part about it is you can do this as many times as you feel necessary. There's no limit. You can alchemize and change yourself as many times as it takes for you to secure and lock in your highest self on all planes and dimensions and areas of life. That's what most people don't know. And the few who do know, the ones who know. And the ones who know can tell when someone else knows. Because it takes a certain type of perspective and mindset and the way you carry yourself and the way you treat your life that is different from those who aren't doing it, who are just living out of their wounds. It is very obvious to us because we already did the work. That's also why it's so important for you to do the work on yourself, because the more work you do on yourself, the more evident and obvious red flags are to you in both yourself and others. Pair that with disciplining your behavior, and now you're on your way to creating healthy boundaries and a healthy life for yourself. A life that aligns with your highest self. And do that in every area. Do that in every area. And you'll be able to change and alchemize yourself to the highest and most authentic version of yourself. You'll naturally walk in your power and in your purpose. You'll be nurtured and guarded. You can flex in your power, and it feels so natural to you. You become magnetic. Every one of us has a purpose that serves both the individual and the collective. Just learn to alchemize your pain. That right there would make a huge difference alone. Much love.